Hi, welcome to Learning Monkey. I am Raghu here. In this class, we will discuss about static variable in Java. In our previous classes, we clearly discussed about instance variables and local variables, how memory is allocated to those variables. So please watch those classes and come back here. The link for the playlist is provided in the description below. Coming to today's class, so first we take an example and understand how memory is allocated to static variables. Then at the end you are going to get clarity what's the use of static variable and what is static variable and what's the use of static variable. You will get understanding at the end. Now let's take the example. Before going into this example, our assumption here is you already have the basic knowledge about stack space and heap space, which we discussed previously about instance and local variables. How memory is allocated to local variables in stack space and how it is allocated to heap space. Objects are allocated in heap space. These things are given clarity previously. Now take this example. Let's take this class A. In this class we had a static int p is equal to 41 static variable. This is how we have to write syntax for static variables. Before data type you have to mention static keyword. Int q, this is an instance variable. If you don't mention it as static, then it will consider it as instance variable. And we had a constructor to assign value to instance variable. Q is equal to x. And we had a method add, which is taking a addition of p plus q. It is going to add static variable and instance variable values. Now coming to the next class test. Here we are having public static void main of. So now coming to the, you need to understand when static variables are assigned memory location. These points you need to understand first. In our previous classes we discussed that our execution starts from here, and in the first line of the code ob is equal to new a of 20. Means we are creating an object for class A. Whenever you create an object for class A, then it is going to assign space to instance variables in the heap. This point made clear in our previous classes. Whenever we create an object, so in the heap space, we are going to assign some space for instance variables. What are the instance variables that present in this class? Q is the instance variable. But static variables are not going to be assigned memory during the execution. They are going to be assigned memory during the compilation. Means whenever you compile the program, and if you want to execute that program, this program should be copied to random access memory. Means this program should be loaded to random access memory. Whenever this program is loading, then static variables are assigned space. So what are the static variables we got here? P is a static variable. So whenever this program is loading to the random access memory, static variables are getting assigned memory location. There static variables are assigned memory space. Where it is going to assign memory space? Before Java 8th version, static variables are assigned a separate memory space. Are given a separate memory space, not stack, not heap. But after Java 8, they are going to assign space in the heap on the name of class. So what is the class name? A. On the name of class. What is the static variable that is available? P is equal to 40. So see, so it is allocated for this P, the location 5000 location, 5001, 5002, 5003, because int is a 4-byte space is needed, 4 bytes are assigned, and the starting location is 5000. Means this class A class is referencing to this location 5000 location. On the name of class it is going to assign space. That's why static variables are called as class variables. So you understand when memory is allocated to static variables. Now with the execution flow we are going to understand how we can use the static variables and what's the use of static variables. So now coming to this, when our execution started, when we created an object, whenever we created an object we will allocate a space in heap. for storing instance variables. What are the instance variables we got? Q. We created an object OB. Assume that OB is assigned memory location 6000. From here onwards, 4 bytes should be assigned. There Q is equal to 20. It is going to call the constructor. It is going to send 20 to X. X is assigned to Q. So Q is equal to 20. So this is instance variable. So now OB.addOff. So we call the method addOff. So what it is going to do here? C is equal to P plus Q. So we can use static variables and instance variables in any of our methods. We can use instance variables, we can use static variables. So P plus Q, what is the value of P? 40. What is the value of Q? 20. 40 plus 20, what is the value? 40 plus 20 is 60. So our output is 60. You are going to understand what's the difference between static and instance in a minute. We can use, this is the point you need to understand, we can use both static variables and instance variables in our methods. So now coming to this, ob.p is equal to 80. With using this object OB, we are going to modify the value of static variable. Previously static variable is 40, now we are changing it to 80. So from now onwards, what is the p value? It is 80. Which one changes this static variable? OB changed the static variable value from 40 to 80. Any object can use the static variable, any object can modify the static variable. These are the points you need to understand. Now coming to the next point, this is the line you need to understand. A OB1 is equal to new A of 30. Means we are creating one more object. Whenever we create an object, space is allocated for instance variables. Yes, OB1, 7000 location is allocated. What is the Q value here? 30. What is the Q value here? 20. So that's why instance variables belong to object. Static variable belong to any of the object. Any object can use static variable, but instance variables can be used only by that object. See here, now take the next point, ob1.addOff. Whenever we call this add method, it is going to add P plus Q. P is the static variable, from where it is going to get the P value? Here. What is the value? It is 80. Previous object OB modified to 80. 80 plus, what is the Q value? From where it is going to get the Q value? OB1 object is this one. So Q is equal to 30. 80 plus 30, 110 is the output. Instance variables belongs to objects. So OB1 object, if you are working on add method using OB1, Q value is 30. If you are working on add method using OB, what is the Q value? 20. Instance variables belongs to object, but static variable belong to all the objects. Other way you need to understand, static is global to all the objects. If you understand this point, in many of the programming situations we are going to use the static variables. So the point you need to understand, static is global to all the objects. Any object can access the value, any object can modify the value. So once you understand this point, that is what about a static variable. One more important point you need to understand. We discussed the point that static variables are assigned memory location during the compilation. Whenever this program is loading, static variables are assigned memory space. That is the reason static int k. If you add this statement in method, this is not allowed. Why? Because methods are assigned memory location during execution time. So this code will be executed whenever you call this method, this code will execute it. So that's why static variables are not allowed to define. You cannot define static variables inside the methods. Only in the class you can mention static variables. That's why static variables are called as a class variables. Hope you understand about class and static variables. If you have any questions regarding the concept, please post your questions in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, please subscribe to our channel and press bell icon for the latest updates. Thank you.